In the world of automobiles, while many cars have dazzled us with their beauty, speed, and innovation, there are those that have left us bewildered. Today, we're diving into the 10 worst cars ever made and exploring just what went wrong. Buckle up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. First up, the infamous Ford Pinto of 1971, a car that will forever be remembered, but for all the wrong reasons. While it was initially introduced with the intention of being a compact, affordable vehicle for the masses, the Pinto quickly became known for something far more sinister. Its legacy was marked by a dangerous flaw in its design, a fuel tank that was a ticking time bomb on wheels. This fuel tank was situated such that, in the event of a rear-end collision, it was prone to rupturing and causing devastating fires. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Getting into your car, not knowing that a simple fender bender could turn into a deadly inferno. This fatal flaw turned the Ford Pinto into a disaster waiting to happen, with rear-end collisions often resulting in tragic fires. A grim reminder of the critical importance of safety in automotive design. At number 2, the Cadillac Cimarron. We're stepping into the realm of badge engineering, a practice where car manufacturers rebrand one model under another name, often with minimal changes. It's a risky game, and the Cadillac Cimarron is a prime example of how it can go awry. Launched in 1982, the Cimarron was essentially a Chevrolet Cavalier in a tuxedo. The Cavalier was a fine car in its own right, but when it was dressed up and presented as a Cadillac, it simply didn't cut it. Luxury car buyers were expecting the opulence and performance synonymous with the Cadillac name. Instead, they got a car that was, at its core, an economy vehicle. This ill-conceived masquerade left many disappointed. It fooled no one and let down everyone, especially those who were looking for the luxury that Cadillac was known for. It was essentially a Chevrolet Cavalier in a tuxedo, fooling no one and disappointing everyone, especially luxury car buyers. Number 3, the Pontiac Aztek. This vehicle, released in 2001, was a bold step into the future. With its distinctive shape and ambitious design, it was intended to be a game-changer. However, it soon became apparent that the Aztek was not the revolution it promised to be. Its unconventional aesthetics were met with mixed reviews, with many critics and consumers finding the design more alienating than innovative. The Aztek's performance was also a letdown. Despite its rugged looks that hinted at off-road prowess, it was far from a powerhouse. Its mediocre engine and subpar handling left much to be desired, failing to impress the automotive world. Moreover, it was plagued by reliability issues, further tarnishing its reputation. The Aztek fell short of its lofty ambitions, proving that bold design alone is not enough to secure a place in automotive history. Not only was its design questioned, but its mediocre performance didn't win any hearts either. The 1958 Zundap Janus takes our 4th spot. Now you might be wondering, what's so bizarre about this car? Well, let's start with its design. Imagine a car with a door at both ends. Yes, you heard that right, both ends. And it didn't stop there. The seating arrangement was equally peculiar. The front and rear seats faced opposite directions, making it a peculiar sight on the road. You'd think that with such a unique design, the Zundap Janus would at least offer some impressive performance. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The Janus was powered by a tiny 2-stroke engine which made for a sluggish drive. It struggled to reach a top speed of 50 miles per hour, and its handling left a lot to be desired. With a door on each end and a bizarre seating arrangement, it was more of a novelty than a practical car. Plus, its sluggish performance didn't help its case. Halfway through at number 5, the AMC Pacer. Now this is a car that definitely made a statement. Its unique design, fondly referred to as fishbowl styling, was unlike anything else on the road at the time. With its wide, rounded shape and extensive use of glass, the Pacer certainly stood out in a crowd. But as they say, beauty is only skin deep, and unfortunately the Pacer's uniqueness didn't extend to its performance. Beneath its distinctive exterior, the Pacer was plagued with issues. Its large glass area made the car's interior uncomfortably hot, especially in the summer months. And that was just the beginning of its problems. The Pacer's fuel economy was less than impressive, proving to be a significant drawback during the mid-70s energy crisis. Add to that reliability issues, and it's easy to see why the Pacer was a disappointment to consumers. Its poor fuel economy and reliability issues made it a letdown for consumers. The Yugo GV at number 6 became a punchline for bad car jokes. This little car, hailing from the then Yugoslavia, was meant to be the people's car, an affordable option for the masses. But the low price tag came with a cost. The Yugo GV was notorious for its poor build quality and lack of reliability. One could say it was a masterclass in cutting corners. Every part of the car, from its engine to its bodywork, seemed to be made with one aim in mind: to keep costs down. This resulted in a car that was not just unreliable, but also unsafe. Breakdowns were common, and the car's lack of durability meant that it was often out of commission. In fact, the Yugo GV's reputation was so poor that it became a staple in the realm of car humor, often being the butt of jokes about bad cars. Cheaply made and unreliable, it was the epitome of you get what you pay for. Seventh is the Plymouth Prowler. A car that on the surface promised so much, but in reality, delivered so little. With its retro, futuristic design, the Plymouth Prowler was a sight to behold. It was designed to resemble the hot rods of the 1950s, and it certainly looked the part, but, as is often the case, looks can be deceiving. Underneath that show-stopping exterior was a disappointing truth. The Prowler was a wolf in sheep's clothing, or perhaps more accurately, a sheep in wolf's clothing. Despite its hot rod looks, it lacked the performance to match. Its 3.5-liter V6 engine produced a rather underwhelming 214 horsepower, a far cry from the power-packed performance one would expect from a car that looked like it did. Indeed, the Plymouth Prowler was a classic case of style over substance. It was all show and no go. A car that promised a thrilling ride, but instead delivered a rather pedestrian performance. A classic case of all show and no go. The Hummer H2 at number 8. When it comes to the automotive world's behemoths, the Hummer H2 stands out from the crowd, and not in a good way. Its sheer size was a sight to behold, but the H2 was more than just a big car. It was a symbol of excess, a testament to a time when the bigger the better was the mantra, and fuel efficiency was a mere afterthought. But the H2 did more than just take up space. It was notorious for its insatiable thirst for gas. Guzzling it down as if there was an endless supply, this gas-guzzling giant was a stark contrast to the growing environmental consciousness of the time. As the world began to turn its attention to sustainability and reducing carbon footprints, the H2 felt more like a relic from a bygone era of excess. In an era increasingly conscious of environmental impact, the H2 was a relic of excess. Number 9, the Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet. Now here's a car that will leave you scratching your head. Picture this, an SUV and a convertible, two distinctly different vehicles with their own unique charms. Now imagine trying to combine the two. Sounds like a bold move, right? Well, that's just what Nissan tried to do with the Murano Cross Cabriolet. The idea was intriguing, no doubt, but the execution, not so much. What we got was a car that wasn't quite an SUV and not quite a convertible. It was stuck in a sort of automotive limbo, unsure of its own identity. The result was a vehicle that didn't offer the rugged utility of an SUV nor the breezy charm of a convertible. It was an interesting idea, but it's safe to say it was a swing and a miss. It was an experiment that, well, didn't quite pan out. And at number 10, the Triumph TR7. Emerging from the British Leyland stable in the late 70s, the TR7 was supposed to be a triumph, pun intended, of British automotive design and engineering. But alas, it was anything but. This car, ladies and gentlemen, was a rolling embodiment of the old saying, beauty is only skin deep. The wedge-shaped design was modern and eye-catching, but underneath that stylish exterior lay a multitude of problems. The TR7 was plagued with reliability issues right from the get-go. Everything from electrical gremlins to leaks to mechanical breakdowns were all too common. The TR7 became infamous, with owners and mechanics alike joking that the TR in its name stood for trouble and repair. It was a car that promised so much, yet delivered so little. A truly sad end to the classic British sports car era. It was often joked that the TR stood for trouble and repair. A sad end to the classic British sports car era. There you have it, the 10 worst cars ever made. Each of these cars tells a story of ambition that, unfortunately, ended in disappointment. But they also remind us of the importance of innovation and quality in automotive design. Thank you for watching.